this is my personal opinion. I don't think you let any of these guys in if Barry Bonds isn't in.
Tell me what you're drinking, we can go pour one. Tell me what you're thinking, we can have some more fun.
Should steroid guys be in the Hall of Fame?
Well, let's go with...
What is your take as someone who's like...
on the steroids thing?
No, should Barry Bonds and other dudes, Andy Pettitte, Manny Ramirez, should they, A-Rod, should they get in the Hall of Fame? I mean, their numbers are great, but...
That's a tough question because, I mean, first of all, I don't think any of these guys get in. This is my personal opinion. I don't think you let any of these guys in if Barry Bonds isn't in.
Okay.
Right? Like, you start there because he's like the top of this, and I'm not going to sit here, like, when I saw Gary Sheffield, did I not want to put him in the Hall of Fame? Yes, I did, obviously. I was like, hell yeah. A-Rod, maybe not as much, but, like...
I want A-Rod. I like A-Rod now. Yeah, like, I'm an A-Rod fan.
Statistics-wise, yes, fine. You can get in there. But, Manny Ramirez, Andy Pettitte, I saw these names and I was like, oh, yeah, they should definitely be in the Hall of Fame. But then you stop and you're like, actually, wait, hold on. Like,
this is what I'll say. I just want to, let me get a little on my soapbox here with steroids and baseball, right? So, 1994, the strike happened. Pissed off a bunch of baseball fans. Everyone knows this. Baseball was struggling. How do we get people to watch our sport again? Dudes are juicing, looking like bodybuilders, hitting bombs, right? And you have records like
never have baseball players looked as jacked as they did.
Yeah, and you had records that had stood
the test of time. Like
Roger Maris, 61, hadn't been broken in like 40 years, 50 years.
Right.
And then all of a sudden you got Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa, and Barry Bonds.
In like what? It's consecutive years, right? It was like within days or something?
They broke it like 7 or 8 times in a span of 3 years.
Yeah, like...
If that doesn't bring a red flag... And look, the two things can be true at the same time.
That's true.
One, it was awesome. It was really exciting. You see guys hitting bombs and like they're going for the home run race. You see guys breaking records that have never been broke before. That's really exciting, and it got people to go back to baseball. And that's part of the problem is that Major League Baseball kind of turned their back.
They turned a blind eye to it,
exactly, because it was bringing in people.
Right.
But another thing can also be true as well, that it's kind of it's a tragedy that you had something that was a historical record that means things to people who watch that guy play, Roger Maris, and like baseball fans who. That's a number that is very valuable, like 61.
Yeah.
Or Hank Aaron's hitting 756 is what Hank Aaron had, or 714 was Babe Ruth's number when Aaron broke Ruth's record.
Right.
Like these numbers are really important to baseball fans, and then to just have it kind of be made a mockery by the use of steroids, that's why people have a bad taste of steroids, and for good reason. But I don't think me personally, let those guys go in the Hall of Fame. Because
are you the people that are like make a special wing?
Yeah, like,
I've heard that. I've heard that take.
Not even a special wing.
Building.
Put them in the Hall of Fame, and I'll tell you another thing. But just put them in the Hall of Fame because those guys were stars in their generation. Like they were. I mean, regardless of steroids, if they were all clean, they probably would still be great ball players. Everyone knows that. But they were stars of their generation. Put them in the Hall of Fame. Everyone knows the history.
Right.
Everyone knows about the records that, hey, these records are muddied up because of the use of steroids.
Well, yeah.
But so just let them in the Hall of Fame because and the real reason why, too, and my ending point with this, the reason why you should let steroid guys in the Hall of Fame is I'm pretty sure there's probably guys in the Hall right now that are on steroids. They just never got caught or they were never successfully caught. And then also, what the bad part, too, though, is what about the guys who are clean, like Fred McGriff, he's in the Hall now, but it took him so long to get in because his numbers were really good, but they were nothing compared to, like, the steroid guys. So, like, they kind of, when the water's muddy, like, it's either, I agree with you, it's like either let them all in or let none of them in.
And that's just it. And so there
let them all in.
Yeah, I don't know. It's tough. It's really tough because you look at the players that you're leaving out, and they're
historical figures.
Exactly. That's what I was trying to get at. Yeah, I was trying to find the words. Like they are historical figures. Like you don't think of baseball in the last like 20 years without thinking about A-Rod or Manny Ramirez or Gary Sheffield. Like these people are icons, right? And they're not going to be. So that means 20 years down the road, 40 years down the road, people are going to be going to the Hall of Fame if they still do that. And then like they're going to be like, why isn't A-Rod it? You know, like those are going to be questions.
I think they'll always know. And
yeah,
honestly,
maybe.
Even on the plaque, put a physical asterisk on the plaque.
I don't know about that.
But I mean?
But like to your point,
denote that like was associated or was, found tested positive for PEDs. Like,
for the guys who stay clean, to your point though, like stats wise, then you've got. But then there's guys that don't get caught, and you can't tell me that there are not people in the Hall of Fame right now that just didn't get caught. There
probably is.
There's got to be at least one.
Let those guys in. Let Pete Rose in too. That's what I'll say.
Oh, okay. I did want to talk about Pete Rose.
You did?
Yeah, because when are they going to address the steroids issue? I guess is the question. Like, because like I said, I don't think you let any of these guys in unless you let Bonds in, but.
Yeah.
So then do any of these guys, so they just never make it in? Or are we never going to, it's like that family secret we just never talk about? We're just not going to do it?
They got to figure it out though. I'll say that. I don't know. I really don't know.
Because you keep putting these guys on the ballot. Oh, here's my question. Like, why even,
why even have them
why
on the
even
ballot?
Put them on the ballot?
Yeah, that's a good point.
And I guess you're putting them on the ballot because you've never said, oh, we won't let them in.
Because there's no rule about if you've done it, you can't be on the ballot.
Right.
And then maybe it's just the riders just saying we won't put these guys in. So maybe it's just an artificial thing that the riders don't add them.
Right. And,
so
and
the only one
that's
stopping
what I think
them,
is happening.
The only one stopping them, like the only people stopping having those guys in is the riders.
Right. But they're also making the ballot. So just don't put them on the ballot is all I'm like, don't.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
This just feels silly to me. This feels like a weird boy logic. Like just don't put them on the ballot.
Agree. I say just put them in.
He wants to put them in. I don't know. I still don't know how I feel. I see both sides. I see compelling arguments on both ends. Because like you said, those guys were really good. They would have been good regardless. But they did do that. But then they got caught.
The thing with steroids too is it's not like if I took steroids today I'd be able to hit 330.
No, because hitting is hard.
Hitting's hard, but also it helps. It does help.
Well, it helps. Well, you're faster, stronger.
Yes.
Faster is probably really helpful.
The biggest thing, right? Like that's what people think when they think steroids, right? Faster, stronger, bigger, like hit the ball farther, harder.
Yeah.
But the real big thing with steroids too, especially in a game like baseball. The hardest thing in baseball, it is a marathon. You play 162 games.
Recovery time?
Recovery.
Oh, okay.
When you're on steroids, your recovery, you're fresh a lot more than other guys who aren't on it. So obviously you play better when you're fresh.
Right.
That's what's tough about baseball is can you play good when you're fresh? Yeah, okay, you'll be in a lineup. Can you play good when you're not fresh? When it's game 130 and your knee hurts and your shoulder's sore.
When it's October, can you still make this happen?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So and steroids, it's easier to do that, and that's the biggest thing too. But
okay, good points. Cool. We'll see what happens, I guess, in the future. I think it's really silly, but
let them in.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah, one more time. Look at my ballot. Interested to see how you guys will make fun of me and call me stupid.
Tell me what you're drinking, we can go pour one. Tell me what you're thinking, we can have some more fun. I know that you said you don't think of me, but what you're doing now is telling different. Tell me what you're drinking, we can go pour one. Tell me what you're thinking, we can have some more fun. I know that you said you don't think of me, but what you're doing now is